In 2018, the global population reached 8 billion people. By 2050, that number is projected to rise to over 9.7 billion. And all these people need to be fed. That's why it's crucial to consider how we're going to ensure food security in 2050. How will we produce enough food for everyone? Will technology help us, or could it go wrong? Let's find out. At first glance, the future doesn't look too good. The demand for food is expected to rise by about 60% by 2050. But at the same time, the area used for farming is expected to shrink by 20% due to urbanization and other land uses. So how can we possibly meet this challenge? One approach is to increase production on existing farmland. We can do this by improving crop yields through technological advancements such as precision agriculture, which uses data and technology to optimize crop production. For example, it uses sensors, GPS, and data analysis to determine the precise amount of water, nutrients, and pesticides needed for crops, reducing waste and increasing yields. Farmers can use drones to monitor their crops and identify problems early on. They can also use robots to weed, thin, and harvest crops more efficiently. Vertical farming is another option. It involves growing crops in vertically stacked layers, which allows for more efficient use of space and resources. This method can also reduce transportation costs and increase food security in urban areas. However, relying solely on technological solutions may not be enough to meet the growing demand for food. We also need to consider the environmental impact of these solutions. For example, precision agriculture requires a lot of data and processing power, which can be energy intensive. Similarly, vertical farms require significant investment and infrastructure. Therefore, we need to explore other options as well. One promising approach is agroforestry, which involves integrating trees and shrubs into farmlands. This can help improve soil fertility, conserve water, and provide additional sources of income for farmers. Another option is to promote sustainable fishing practices to ensure that we can continue to harvest fish from our oceans without depleting the fish stocks. This can involve setting catch limits, protecting marine habitats, and reducing pollution in our waterways. But even with all these efforts, there's still a chance that food production won't keep up with demand. What happens then? If we can't produce enough food to feed everyone, we'll need to rely on imports to make up the difference. However, this can be problematic as it can make us dependent on other countries for food, especially if they decide to restrict exports or if there are disruptions in the supply chain. Additionally, transporting food over long distances can have a significant carbon footprint, contributing to climate change and potentially damaging delicate ecosystems. For example, in 2011, when Russia experienced a severe drought, it led to a ban on grain exports, which caused prices to skyrocket and led to protests in some countries. Similarly, in 2020, when the U.S. was hit by a series of cyber attacks, it affected the food supply chain and led to shortages of meat and other products. These events highlight the risks associated with relying on imports for food security. Instead, we should focus on building resilient local food systems that can withstand shocks and disruptions. This can involve promoting local food production, reducing food waste, and supporting small farmers. Moreover, it's important to consider the nutritional content of the food we're producing. We don't want to just produce more calories. We also want to ensure that people have access to nutrient-rich foods such as fruits, vegetables, and proteins. This can help prevent malnutrition and improve public health. One way to achieve this is through dietary diversification, which involves promoting the consumption of a variety of foods from different food groups. This can help ensure that people are getting the nutrients they need for a healthy diet. Governments and organizations can also work to reduce the cost of healthy foods so that they are more accessible to low-income populations. By making fruits, vegetables, and other nutrient-rich foods more affordable, we can help ensure that everyone has access to a balanced diet. Another crucial aspect of food security is water management. Agriculture is a water-intensive process, and as water resources become more scarce, it's essential to use water efficiently. One way to do this is through drip irrigation, reducing water waste and increasing crop yields. Farmers can also use sensors and data analysis to monitor soil moisture and plant health, allowing them to adjust irrigation schedules and use water only when needed. Additionally, we need to consider the impact of climate change on water resources. As temperatures rise and weather patterns change, we can expect water resources to become more unpredictable and less reliable. Therefore, it is important to invest in water-efficient technologies and practices now to ensure that we can continue to use water sustainably in the future. The challenge of ensuring food security in 2050 is a complex one that will require a multifaceted approach. While technology can play a significant role in increasing production and improving efficiency, it's essential to adopt a more holistic approach that considers environmental sustainability, socioeconomic factors, and the nutritional content of our food. By investing in sustainable farming practices, promoting dietary diversification, managing water resources, and building resilient local food systems, we can work towards a future where everyone has access to safe, nutritious food. As we look to 2050, it's clear that we face significant challenges in ensuring food security for a growing population. However, by embracing innovation, promoting sustainability, and prioritizing equity, we can create a future where everyone has access to the food they need to thrive. To understand the role of technology in ensuring food security in 2050, let's delve into the advancements and innovations that are shaping the future of agriculture and food production. One of the most significant areas of innovation is in the realm of biotechnology. Advances in genetic engineering and gene editing have enabled scientists to develop crops that are more resistant to pests. These biotech crops can help increase yields and reduce the need for pesticides and water. For example, genetically modified (GM) crops such as Roundup-ready soybeans. Another area of innovation is in the field of precision agriculture. Precision agriculture involves using sensors, GPS, and data analysis to determine the precise amount of water. Farmers can use drones to monitor their crops and identify problems early on. They can also use robots to weed, thin, and harvest crops more efficiently. It involves growing crops in vertically stacked layers. This method can also reduce transportation costs and increase food security in urban areas. In addition to these innovations, the Internet of Things (IoT) and artificial intelligence (AI) are enabling farmers to access real-time information on weather, market prices, and agricultural best practices. This information can help farmers make informed decisions about what to grow. For example, mobile phone apps such as Farm Monitor and AgroStar provide farmers with real-time information on weather, soil conditions, and crop health. But while these technologies hold immense potential, it is important to recognize the challenges and barriers that need to be addressed to fully harness their benefits, which refers to the gap between those who have access to ICTs and those who don't. This divide often intersects with other forms of inequality, which can exacerbate existing disparities in access to resources and opportunities. To bridge this divide, it is essential to invest in infrastructure and initiatives that promote digital literacy and access to affordable internet services. Another challenge is the need for skilled workers to operate and maintain the complex technologies required for modern agriculture. This includes not only farmers, but also technicians, engineers, and data analysts. To address this challenge, there is a need for investment in education. Such initiatives can help create a skilled workforce that's essential for driving innovation and productivity in agriculture. Ensuring food security in 2050 will require a collaborative effort involving governments, businesses, researchers, and individuals. By embracing innovation, addressing the digital divide, investing in education and training, promoting sustainable practices, and fostering international cooperation. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.